Okay, so hi everyone, my name's Alita Campbell and I am here with Suleiman, who will talk about his experience on the field school from St. Mary's. I don't know which one you went on.
So I was in the Gambia in November 2015.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah.
So why did you choose to go on that experience?
Well, certainly that's a very good question. Thank you for asking. First of all, I am from West Africa myself, and Gambia is also located in the West Africa. I'm from Niger. So we face similar consequences of climate change. And as a student of environmental science and geology, I wanted to go on the field and witness myself those consequences. So just not just to witness, but also come up with ways to help improve our continent, I will say in some word. Yeah, that's the main motivation.
Okay, great. What did you learn both personally and professionally from this experience?
Personally, I will say getting to live with people from different backgrounds. I mean, at a young age, I moved out of home. I was in a boarding school in Ghana, which is also in West Africa. But again, getting this opportunity to go away for 2 weeks with people from the Western world was different situation because that was their first time in Africa for most of them. It was a lot of cautions, a lot of surprises. I mean, personally, I think that the takeaway, my personal takeaway was being able to live with people from different backgrounds and help them to adapt to the situation. So because I was the only one from Africa, and especially West Africa on that trip, a lot of questions were going towards me. People were trying to see what I was doing and how I was doing it. In terms of professional background, I will say going on the field, for instance, we did a lot of road trips just in different areas of the city to see things like how climate change is affecting sea level, or even how it's affecting their production. For instance, the nuts, they have peanuts there that they grow, and the climate change was affecting them. So we were on the field with some farmers to see what consequences are they facing and how can they improve on that. So since I left, I mean, my career path changed, but I'm still interested and still working. I'm still in contact with some people in the Gambia from that field trip who are there, and we are still trying to develop ways to make things better. So I will say my work in the near future is definitely find ways for our farmers to reach their target productivity, where exactly they want to be. That's what I'm working on. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
How do you think the field school affected the rest of your time at SMU, the rest of the education that you received?
I will say a field trip is definitely an important part of a curriculum. I would say being out there made a change. It's good to study the things, but also practicing it, seeing it in real life. It's definitely a life-changing thing, and I would highly encourage anybody to go on a field trip anywhere. It's something that you will get something from it. As you ask whether it was professional or personal, at the end of the day, you will come up with something. It will be beneficial to you. So it exposed me to more things, definitely.
Great.
Yeah.
What do you think you would say to someone who's, one, considering a field course such as this or an international experience, and two, to someone who says, no, that's not for me, I'm not going to do it?
As I just mentioned, I will encourage that person to change their mind and take that field course. I mean, at times there is also the expenses associated to the field course again, sorry, but we have a great school where we have a lot of support. There are so many financial support that if you want to go, you will find that help in one way or another. I believe this system is an amazing one that doesn't let us down. If we want to reach something, it will definitely take us there. Myself, I had some financial support from the school. There's an international, I forgot the exact name, but again, I know those things are here, so they should definitely consider it. And being exposed to a new world is a life-changing experience. I would recommend anybody to go on a field trip anywhere. Whether it's within Canada or outside Canada, it's definitely something to consider. Absolutely. And if I get that chance again, I will go. I will go. Yeah.
Great. Has it, so you mentioned earlier that, you're not really in that field, but has this field course, can you talk more about what you're hoping to do in the future with what you learned on the field course and the people that you met?
Absolutely. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking. So I will say in the near future, right now I am working as an insurance advisor. That's not my career part, but that's what I found and I am into it. However, I'm still doing some volunteering work outside that. For instance, I'm volunteering with the United Nations online. You have that option where you can volunteer help, whether it's to correct or translate documents. I am doing something, and definitely something in my field. My long-term goal, yes, it is to work with the United Nations environmental department. So that's what I want to do. And the short term, within the next 5 years, I see myself moving back in Africa and starting projects regarding climate change. And I would say climate change is the big thing right now, because that's what is affecting our farmers a lot, because the way it is, they rely so much on that rain to make things happen, and it's coming less and less, which is causing a lot of trouble. And those people don't have enough of irrigation system, water systems to make their crops grow. So it's my short-term goal is really help them minimize those impact of the climate change by finding them ways of irrigating their crops. So whether it's getting wells around or trying to get in situation where they are close to a river or something, helping them with pumps, those type of things. That's what I'm working on the side. But yeah, I will be focusing more into it within the next 5 years, of course.
Great, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think is the value of a study abroad or a field school experience? So more than just a takeaway, why do you think students should do these things, and what was the value in it for you?
Thank you for asking that question. So I will say the value, the main takeaway for this type of field trip is first of all, recognize or experience different cultures. We live in a society with thankfully in Canada, we are in a place where there's so many backgrounds, like so many people from everywhere. But I would say the first thing is to get out there and experience the different cultures, because there are so many, a lot of amazing things to learn on other people's life, how they do things, and as well as what they are facing, because some people are really suffering. Let's be honest, it's not everybody who is lucky enough to get everything they want. So I would say that's the first takeaway, just exposing yourself to those other people who are in those need, and to see that life can change, life can be very different. And also that should be a turning point for us to be grateful of what we have at this time. So that's one thing. The other thing is, as I mentioned, networking with people. So you go on a field trip, yes, you go on a field trip with people from your class, but maybe you have never spoken to that person in class. So definitely it's a time that everybody will come together, people will network, they will share their life experiences, and we will all learn together. So at the end of the field trip, we had to do a report where we were put into groups to share things. I think that's amazing. Like, people brought different things, a lot of things, something that I've not thought of, somebody picked it up, and at the end of the day, I also learned from it. So I would say it's that networking and also sharing knowledge between people. Yeah.
Okay, great. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about your field school experience that I haven't asked about?
Well, I think you've asked most things and I've mentioned most things, but just thinking, I would say the only last thing I wanted to mention is the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, I stayed in touch with the people who helped us also in the field trip, like the driver and those maid cooking and stuff. There is this specific driver, I will not mention his name. I'm still in touch with him, and I'll be frank honest, I'm even helping him out with his daughter's education, just because their job is seasonal. It's when we go on field trip or tourist time that they make money. Other time they have literally no job, and it's a big problem. And coming from there, I understand him. So every year I help him with his daughter's school fees. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And very
Absolutely.
generous of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think to end it off, which is a little bit backwards, but this is the way we're going to do it. Can you let me know, your name, what you graduated of, and when, and what you're up to now?
Absolutely. Thank you again for asking that great question. Well, my name is Sulaiman Francois Dahani. I'm originally from West Africa. I came to Canada in 2012, started St. Mary's. I graduated from environmental science. I have a bachelor in environmental science with a minor in geology. And since my graduation, as I mentioned, I've been volunteering online with the UN, just doing some work there, as well as I work in the bank at Manulife Bank for 2 years in mortgages and day-to-day bank. And I've been working in insurance since March 2018. So a year from now, I work for TD Insurance. And looking forward to the future, I would say.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much for your questions, Halida. Thank you.